Welcome to our POE part 3. So firstly, I'll just take you through the code. So here's the server.mjs, but obviously I won't be going through all the code because majority of the backend code has stayed the same since the last part. So in this part, the only thing that's changed is in the backend we've added the employee.mjs, and then in the server.mjs all the security measures and on all the other files the security measures have stayed the same. The only difference is here we've added the employee root, and then obviously we have the employee.mjs file, and then the other changes were all made into the front end for the front end. So here I'll just be showing you, oh, and here's a script file to register the employee, which we'll use later because it says that employees don't have a sign up, and that they are given credentials, so we'll use this later. So here we can see that I've added the employee root to the server.mjs, and then I'll come over to the employee.mjs file, and here you can see that we have the input validation which stays the same, and the password validation from for the password and the employee ID. So as you can see that it being validated into the correct format, so it checks for 6 digits after the EMP, and then password has to be 8 characters long, 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, and also a number and a special character. So basically here's the input sanitization. So this is the same from the other pages, and here we're using it for this page. So here for logging in for the employee, you can see that we also have a check employee auth, which basically just takes the token from the header and basically uses it. So what this means is that the token that's created using JWT is used to make sure that the employee that logged in and is doing the payment verification and submitting to Swift is the one who initially logged in. And then here we have the login endpoint. So here you can see that when they log in, they can't leave the fields empty. They have to enter the employee ID correctly and the password correctly. Then we use the sanitized inputs, and then that gets entered into the database with the hashed password. And then here the token gets stored in the cookie. So here we use the secure cookie to store the token. And then here you can see that here's the pending. So this is the get method because we're going to be viewing the payments that are available for the employee to see that all the customers have made. So here they'll just be able to see it in the dashboard page, which we'll see later. So here we have pending, and here we can see that you can verify. So any payment that is pending, they can verify those payments and then basically verify them to make sure that they are correct. And then lastly on here you can see that they're able to submit to Swift. So once they click verify and actually have verified the payment, they're able to submit it to Swift. Okay, so then as you can see here we have the front end code. So here we have index.js and app.js. So index.js, this code was taken from the lab guide, and here you can see that we're importing Bootstrap for our designing, and here we have all the routes. So the default route is the home page, and then the sign up, login, payment, employee login, and employee dashboard. And then here you can see we have the home page, which is like the landing page, basically where you can able to choose. Here you can see that there's a button to choose whether you here for customer login or employee login, and if you are not here for either and you're simply a customer and you don't have an account, you can just click on the sign up to easily access that. And then also we have sign up. So basically the sign up page just has all the, so here you can see the code is for the post request, and then here we have all the input that's taken. So it's the full name, the ID number, the account number, and then the password, and then there's the button to actually sign up. And if you don't have an account, you can just say, or if you already have an account, you can just click on the login section. And here on the login it's the same. So here's the post request for login, and then here's all the input taken in, so it's the username, the account number, and the password. And here's the login button, and then we also have the section for if you don't have an account, you can actually sign up straight from the sign up page, or the login page, which takes you to the sign up page. And then here we have payment.js, which is basically the page for the payment. So here we have the request, the post request for payment. Here's the token that makes sure that the customer that's logged in and making the payment is the one who logged in. And then here we can see that there's an amount input, currency input, provider input, SWIFT code, payee name, account number, bank name, address, city, postal code, country, and this is all for the payee. And then there's also the IBAN, or international bank account number, which is optional and doesn't have to be entered because not all countries support it. And then you can just click pay now, or you can log out, or you can log out once you've made your payment. And then also here we have employee login. So we know that, like we said, employees don't have a sign up, but they have to be able to log in with credentials given to them. So here we use the login request, which is the post request. And then also here's the token for when they're logging in. And then here the employee ID and the password are the two fields that they get entered for input on this page. And then they can click on login. And then lastly we have the dashboard page, which basically has the three requests. So it has one for fetching pending payments, one for verifying payments, and one for submitting to SWIFT. So basically here you can see that we use the token to check if the employee logged in is the one, or the employee trying to see the payments that are pending is the one that's logged in. So we use the token, the JWT token. And then here we handle them viewing viewing all the details on the dashboard page. And then here we can see that they have the verifying the payments, and also here they can verify all the payments that appear on the dashboard page. So they can view them and verify them. And then lastly, once they've been verified, once again you can see it also uses the token. And once they're verified, they can submit all these payments to SWIFT. So once they click verify, they can submit it to SWIFT. So here you can see that. And also there's handling logout, which just means that the employee is able to log out once they've done with what they want to. And then also each payment is given a badge or a status. So this just means that when it comes through, it shows as new, and then obviously once it has the success or has been verified, it gets the success badge or status, which just means that it's been verified by the employee once they have verified it. And then here's the actual table for the dashboard page. So here you can see that they're able to see the payment ID, the amount, the currency, the SWIFT code, the payee name, the account number. And also when they want, they can select many payments to select and submit to SWIFT once they are verified. So they verify the payments, and let's say there are many they want to submit to SWIFT, they can do so. And then also there's the button to verify, of course. So that's the employee dashboard. And then lastly, I wanted to show you is the register employee. So here we're able to register a new employee. So if the employee already exists, they can't, obviously it gives an error. And then it hashes the password for them, and also it adds the employee to the DB. So here's the credentials for the employee that's being added. It's EMP123456, and yeah, it's password at 123, and they have the role of admin. Okay, so here we can see that the server is, the back end is running, and then here you can see the front end is running. And here you can see that we want to create the employee in the DB. So we cd into the back end, and we just say node register employee.js, and when I click enter, it will say the employee was added and then it gives their ID. Okay, so here we can see let me just quickly open our part 3 document so I can show you that the back end works. To keep the video short, I'll be showing only the front end in the video, but in the doc we have all the back end stuff like we did for the last part. So here's the employee login. So as you can see, unsuccessful registration, invalid employee ID. If they enter the invalid employee ID, as you can see, it was EMP123456. In this case it's wrong. It will say invalid credentials. Same with the password, it will say invalid credential. And then as you can see here, the correct details. So if they do log in with these correct details, it will say authentication successful with the token and the role. And then here's a case of a successful pending payment through the backend. So here you will add the token as a bearer token. So we say bearer token and then add the token. And here we using the get. So here you can see that all the pending payments show up here. And then when we verify a payment, we just say Swift verified in the body. And here you'll see that we're using the endpoint with the ID and verify, and then it will say that payment is verified successfully. And then also when you're submitting to Swift, they would simply enter the payment ID. So they use the endpoint to submit to Swift, and then they enter the ID. So if there's many, you can see that there's square brackets. So if there's many that enter within the square brackets, that enter more than one. So in this case, it's just the one payment. So it will say one payment submitted to Swift successfully. And then obviously the security measures stay the same. So now I'll come here and then you can see localhost 3000. So it works. So the first thing you see is whether you want to log in as a customer or as an employee, or if you a new customer and don't have an account, we want to sign up. So here I'll just say customer login, and in this case we do not have one, so we'll just say sign up, and we'll just say full name is that, and then I enter the ID number. And to keep the video short and not be long like last time, basically the credentials entered, I'll just enter the correct credentials and won't be testing for validation for the customer portal because we already did that last time. So, and it's all in the doc. So here you can see the ID number with the successful credentials. When I put an ID number, and then when I enter a correct account number and then a correct password, and if I click sign up, as you can see it's signed up because we went to the login page. So if I enter the username, which was the full name, and then if I enter the account number, and if I enter the password, you can see that we brought to the make a payment page. So here you make a payment. So here we'll enter the amount is 1000, the currency is USD, the provider is Swift. We'll just say the code is that, the payee name, and then the account number, and the bank name, I'll just say Bank of America, and the address 123 Main Street, and then the city, or the postal code, and the country, and then we'll leave out the IBAN number. So here you can see it says payment created successfully. So let's log out, and then let's say now the employee is coming to use the system to verify payments. So we'll just say localhost 3000 and we'll log in as an employee. So we know that the credentials is EMP123456 and the password is set to password at 123. So here you can see it's successfully logged in. Here we can see that we're able to do and select. So here you can see we obviously can't do that yet because we need to verify it. So here we can see the payment ID which is created in the DB. So just to go back to the DB, let me refresh the DB. So here you can see there's the customer. So the customer here you can see it's Abdul Muhammad, which was me. I created myself, and here's the password. which is hashed, and all these other credentials are all encrypted, which they'll appear decrypted in the or as you probably saw in the employee dashboard, because they need it decrypted so they can see the info. So here it's all encrypted in storage and in transit, so at rest also. So here's the employee we made using the script also. So here it's EMP123456 with the hash password and a role. And also here's the payment. So it takes this ID and adds it here. You can see here 874. And here's all the information, so the amount, the currency, and the payee info. So for some information like the account number, it's encrypted in this case, but here you can see it's decrypted because that's sensitive information, and all the other information we left the IBAN blank, so that's why it's null. So here we can come over here and you can see that there's this new payment. Okay, we'll click verify. This has been verified. Here you can see it's been verified. So here if I click submit or select, I be able to submit it to Swift. So here if I click, you can see that one payment has been submitted to Swift successfully. And just to show you that since this is the new section that the validation does work, if you do say EMP12345 and then let's enter the correct person, it will say invalid employee ID. There should be the format, but let's enter the correct employee ID, and then let's just take one character away. Authentication failed, invalid credentials. Okay, so as you can see, I've showed you the code. I've taken you to the front end for both the customer and the employee portals, and I've also showed you the back end through the doc for the employee back end, and the customer back end stayed all the same, and all the security measures have stayed the same. Just to keep the video short, this is what I'll be showing you, and also I'll be including all of this in the doc. And also the Circle CI will be in the doc instead of in the video this time, to keep the video a lot more shorter compared to last time where the video was a lot longer. So thank you. And this was our POE part 3. Okay, so my group have actually decided that we will show the Circle CI in the video instead of the doc. However, we have included some information with to do with the pipeline in the doc, so you'll see it at the end. So here I just want to show you that here we can see that we have our GitHub repo, and in the repo you can see that there's the back end and the front end, and the test actually checked is successfully checked and passed. So here you can see that the Sona cloud analysis passed, and then same with Circle CI, and then the build, and then the Circle CI Sona Cube. So the build just basically sets up the environment, and then the Sona Cube is the actual test we're running, so for the different things we want to test within our code. So here I'll show you. Here we can come over to Circle CI and then select the project, and then you will click rerun workflow from start, and then I'll just refresh the page, and then we'll see it running. It takes about a minute or so. In the meanwhile, while we're waiting, I'll just open Sona Cloud. So here we have the Sona Cube, the website. So as you can see here, we have our POE part 3 has run through the code, so all our code. And this last time we had about 11 or 12 issues. This time we have 20. So yeah, we'll just go to see full analysis, summary, overall code. So we have 1 reliability, which I think is the same as before, and now there's 19 maintainability instead of 11. So here we'll come over to issues. This will be done in a few more seconds. Let's just wait for this to finish before I explain the Sona Cube and Sona Cloud. Okay, so as you can see, it's a success when it's successfully ran. The first time it always fails because you need to include the environment variables such as your token and organization. So here it's a success. So here I'll just open bold. So this is just setting up the environment for Circle CI, and then this is the actual test. So this is the SonarQube test. So here you can see that the test is a success and the test successfully ran. Okay, so back to SonarCloud and SonarCube. Here you can see we have the issues that I picked up in our code. So the customer.mjs, it's the same as before, and then the same as payments. So the new ones are with employee.mjs. So here it says remove unused import of check auth. I'm not quite sure. So here it says that check auth, and we're not using the check auth. Oh, it's because we implemented a completely new check employee auth, so we're not calling the other one, so we don't need to use that one. Same with encrypt data. In the employee, we're just decrypting data, not encrypting, so encrypting could have been left out. And then it's the same here with the sanitization as before with the others. So instead of using, instead of using forwards, 0 to 9, it says use \d, and then don't use the dollar and the open brackets and the close brackets. And here it says I believe these are deprecated, and those are the issues they picked up for the new parts. So as you can see, there's only one high, which is the reliability, which is from before here, which is this, and then the one maintainability is the complexity of the code. It picks it up as a high because it says that the complexity is 18 and should be reduced to 15. However, so you said that's fine. These issues, we're not looking at the issues, we just want to see what it points out. So we have that. Okay, so the next thing then is we can look at security hotspot. Okay, so there's one, it says potentially hard-coded credential. That's fine because we already said we know we need this for the employee to create an employee account, because when we're creating employees, they don't have a sign-up page and they must be created. So this is just simply picking it up from the script. And apart from this, there's no other issues that it picks up. So it says it's a high, but apart from having the picking up the hard-coded password from the script, there's no other issue. Measures, so it just breaks it down for us. So there's one, and then security review, as we can see, there's one hotspot which we saw, and since it's high, its rating is E. And then the maintainability, we can see the debt ratio is quite low, 0.6 is quite low, which is a good thing. And then here there's no code duplication, and then here there's quite a lot of lines for our code. And then the issues, as we know, there's 20, and we've been through it. So here we'll see here are the issues in a graph format. Okay, so thank you. As you can see here, we have our test running and properly working for Circle CI and SonarCube, as you see. So here's the GitHub repo. Thank you.